There's something weird going on with Pedro Pascal. For years, he was the internet's collective crush. The fan cams. The daddy memes. That charming, vulnerable persona? Unshakable. Until now. Because suddenly, the adoration is turning. And it's not because of a flop movie or some offhand tweet. It's because of something much stranger, his anxiety. Or more specifically, what people online are now calling selective anxiety. The backlash exploded during the Fantastic Four press tour. Pascal, cast as Reed Richards, was seen constantly touching his co-star Vanessa Kirby, grabbing her hand, brushing her arm, pulling her closer when she stepped back. Fans immediately clocked the dynamic. She looked uncomfortable. And his energy? Way too intense. And yet, around his male co-stars? Stone-cold professional. The internet didn't hold back. Funny how Pedro never gets anxious around the guys. He never gropes them through his anxiety, does he? Look at her face. She's clearly uncomfortable. It wasn't just a vibe shift. It was the beginning of something deeper unraveling, a pattern people had been quietly tracking for years, now bubbling into full public view. And the closer you look, the more deliberate it all starts to seem. Pedro Pascal's face is everywhere. He's got The Mandalorian, The Last of Us, the upcoming Grogu movie, Fantastic Four, and multiple Marvel commitments all in 1 year. In just a few months, he's appeared in 3 major films. Hollywood isn't just casting him. They're building around him. And on the surface, it makes sense. He's charismatic, vulnerable, emotional. He talks openly about anxiety, childhood trauma, and self-doubt. The public image is crafted to perfection, the relatable, damaged but soft guy. Someone you root for. Someone who feels. But that's where the problems start. Because lately, that carefully polished image is clashing with his actual behavior, and people are starting to ask if it's all just an act. Pedro has said his anxiety is lifelong. That it helps him work better. That it makes him more emotionally tuned in. He's even claimed that physical touch helps him cope with it. Hugging. Hand-holding. Stroking. It's his way of staying grounded. But only with women, apparently. The selective anxiety meme started for a reason. Because the touching, the overly affectionate body language is a pattern. It wasn't just Vanessa Kirby. Fans recalled similar moments with Dakota Johnson, Sarah Paulson, even Ana de la Reguera. Meanwhile, the energy with his male co-stars? Dead silence. Zero touching. No intense whispers. No hand-stroking. No lingering glances. Nothing. So people began to wonder, is this really about anxiety? Or is Pedro just hiding behind the word to justify some extremely uncomfortable behavior? During the Fantastic Four press tour, Pedro's interactions with Vanessa Kirby went viral. At one point, she stepped away, visibly trying to create space, and Pedro pulled her back in. She smiled, but fans didn't miss the quick flash of discomfort on her face. In other clips, she's stroking his head, holding his hand, leaning in. Some fans claimed it was mutual. Others saw something more complicated. Because there's a difference between affection and performance. The vibe was off. And it's not an isolated case. In a resurfaced clip with Willem Dafoe, Pedro is laughing with him, then suddenly turns and starts flirting with Willem's wife right in front of him. Touching her, joking with her, playing it off like it's harmless. But Willem's face shifts fast from smiling to stone cold. Another red carpet clip shows Pedro tightly wrapping his arm around Sarah Paulson, rubbing up and down her back while whispering in her ear. Her body language? Uncomfortable. Awkward. Like she wanted it to end, but didn't want to make a scene. This behavior isn't new. It's just now that people are finally putting the pieces together. Pedro has built his brand around being emotionally complex. He borrows clothes from female co-stars, wears pinks, silks, and heels for magazine covers. Some call it fluid. Others call it brilliant branding. Dakota Johnson once said Pedro suggested she start an OnlyFans-style page just for her feet. It was brushed off as a joke. But fans didn't forget it. The ambiguity works. It lets him be unpredictable, quirky, outside the box, but never threatening. It's an image built for 2025. He's different, but not too different. It's all so perfectly calculated. And Hollywood loves that. Here's what's wild. For all this viral backlash, mainstream media says nothing. No hit pieces. No interviews confronting the behavior. No late-night jokes. Instead, Pedro just keeps getting cast. He's everywhere. It's like nothing ever happened. Contrast that with someone like Gina Carano, fired from The Mandalorian in 2021 after a political post. Completely blacklisted. Gone. Pedro? He called J.K. Rowling's political stance heinous loser behavior. No consequences. At the Cannes Film Festival, he made an anti-immigration statement live on stage. Again, no backlash. If anything, he got more press. Gina's lawsuit even compared their treatment. Pedro could say what he wanted as long as it fit the Hollywood narrative. She couldn't. The system protects Pedro because Pedro plays the game flawlessly. Pedro Pascal is more than an actor now. He's a symbol. A product. A brand studios use to promote their woke credibility without any real risk. He's Latino. Progressive. Gender flexible. Publicly anxious. He checks every marketing box. And because he's never had a major scandal, he's safe. Profitable. Easy. That's why he gets cast in everything, even when public opinion starts to shift. Even when millions are uncomfortable with what they're seeing. Even when it's clear this whole image might just be a mask. There's a reason the internet has latched onto the phrase. There's something off about Pedro Pascal, but we just can't prove it yet. Maybe that's the genius of his branding. It's all emotional openness, physical affection, and soft boy charm, but only when it benefits him. Only when it's safe. Vanessa Kirby might have been in on it. Or maybe she just didn't want to cause a scene. But the pattern is now impossible to ignore. He's friendly. He's fun. But he's a little too friendly. A little too fun. And in a Hollywood where saying the wrong thing ends careers overnight, somehow Pedro Pascal keeps rising higher and higher. Maybe this Fantastic Four controversy was a genuine misstep. Or maybe it was just another carefully crafted distraction to sell tickets and generate press. Whatever the case, one thing is clear. Pedro Pascal is the perfect Hollywood puppet until the mask finally slips. But what do you think? Is Pedro just an affectionate guy misunderstood by the internet, or is this all part of a carefully protected act? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story, it's far from over.